Hi everyone, this is Dawn. This is video 6 of 7 of the video series I'm doing for the federal employees that are currently affected by the mass terminations. This is what you should expect in a clearance packet and also what HR should be providing you. And I'm going to move through this quick because we got a lot of slides and I'm trying to keep this under 15 minutes. All right, here's the list. You need, if you had federal employee health benefits, you should be getting an SF 2810 from them. If you had federal employee group life insurance from them that you were paying into, whether it was basic or basic and optional, you would get a SF 2819. There was also a SF 2821 that's not on this list, but I do mention it in video 3 for FEGLI. But if you're not looking to do any kind of conversion, neither of those forms will be important to you, and it doesn't matter if you get them or not. The very important one is your SF8. That's your unemployment compensation information. It is 2 pages. The first page is the most important. It has your agency information on it, including your agency federal code that you would give and provide that little piece of paper to your state unemployment office so that they have that information in order to start your unemployment file. Then you would also receive, if you had health insurance, sometimes they'll throw this in anyway, but a blank SF 2809, which is a health election form. You would only need this if you intended to elect that TCC, the temporary continuation of coverage. And I covered all of that in video 1 over your FEBI and your dental and your vision. If you don't intend to pick up the TCC, you don't need that 2809 at all. And again, all of these forms, including the one I don't mention on here, but mentioned in video 3, that SF 2821, all of those are available blank for you to at least look at. But as I stated in these other videos, a lot of these need to be filled out already by HR. They're not ones you can do anything with unless they've done it. The SF 3106 is about 9 pages long. It is the FERS application for the refund of your retirement deductions. I spoke to you about this in video 5. They will sometimes give this to you as a courtesy copy. Other times they may just put a little information sheet saying, hey, you need to, if you want a refund, this is the form you'll need. I explained that form to you in that other video. But again, if you're not wanting to immediately try to get a refund, which you won't be able to do for at least 31 days, and until FERS knows you've actually separated, you're not going to be able to do anything anyway. But this is a form that you actually would fill out. HR doesn't have to touch it. So the 3106 is something you can do and don't have to go through HR for. They should also be providing you a copy of your final SF50, which will likely be processed one of 3 ways for that nature of action. It could say separation, removal, termination, or possibly, depending on your agency, it could even be processed as a RIF, which is a reduction in force. I'm not sure how they're going to process it. They won't probably be able to give this to you immediately. This final SF50 doesn't get created until they have fully coded your separation in the system in HR. It's that process that once it's fully done, it triggers that SF50 to be created. But you'll want to reach out to HR about that because you are entitled to it and you should get it. Now, NARA, the National Archives and Records Administration, they should provide you information about how to contact them if you want your personnel file. But here's the thing, your HR has access to your EOPF for 120 days after you separate. After that, they're supposed to electronically transmit it to NARA. Once that happens, then you have to go through NARA to get your folder. I highly suggest that you reach out to your HR before that 120 days is up and tell them, I want a copy of my EOPF. I want the entire EOPF. It'll be a bunch of SF50s and maybe even some of your onboarding forms that you completed. But that's where you need to, you want a copy of that. So they can probably either mail it to you or possibly even create a PDF file of it and attach it in an encrypted email. You don't want it unencrypted, but you do need your EOPF file. I highly suggest you get a copy of it. So try to get it while it's still with HR, but I will provide you the information on how to get it from NARA if you don't reach out to HR before 120 days. And then you will have to do the legwork to get it from NARA. Your HR should have asked you to verify your address if they had a current accurate mailing address. If they didn't when you separated, you're probably going to want to provide that for them. And your request your HR or payroll department. I spoke to you about that SF 1150 back in video 4 about the leave balances. That 1150 is just a record of your leave data, and some agencies use the in lieu of SF 1150, which is just employee data transfer sheets. You really only need this mostly for your sick leave, but if you save your last leave and earnings statement that's got a current balance, if you return to federal service and you want that sick leave credited back, the payroll department will most likely accept that final leave and earnings statement, but if they don't, they can always reach out to the payroll processing entity for them to have your 1150 created or one of those in lieu of 1150s created. This is what a SF 2810 would look like for a change in your health benefits. And I'm going to go through these super quick, guys, but you can look at them. You should get a copy of this from HR if you had health benefits with them. It's just letting you know that, yes, the health benefits are being terminated. Your date of action would be the end of the pay period in which you were being terminated. Usually block 7, that SF whatever 2811 is blank. They will fill out Part A, Part B, Part G, and Part H. So that is the form you should get telling you that your health benefits are being terminated. And again, I covered health benefits in a video 1 if you need to revisit that. This is the important one, your SF8. This is the unemployment one. Your agency should provide you this. It's 2 pages. They will either give it to you through the email, but either way, it's 2 pages. This is the first page. It'll give you your agency information, that 3-digit agency code, and then there's contact information, whether it's the HR office or the claims office. And then there's additional information. That first page will also list some items that you should take with you to the unemployment office. I think they even like you to bring your Social Security card and your current leave and earning statements. I would probably take your last 2 or 3 leave and earning statements with you. This is what a standard Form 50, an SF50 looks like. If you've checked your EOPF before, you've seen these. This is what gets processed whenever they do any kind of action with you, whether it's a promotion, a pay raise, within grade increase, all that. That first action will probably say separation, termination, removal, RIF, any of that. Then that middle area is where they'll put your position and what your salary was. But down at the bottom in area number 45, remarks, is where they will typically place the remarks of what's happening. So if it's a termination, it should say why you were terminated. Probationary period, whatever they want to come up with. But that's where the remarks would be. All right, the electronic personnel file. This is just some information on the EOPF. Hopefully most of you checked this pretty frequently while you were in federal service. It's an important record. That's where all of your data is, basically. All right, National Archives. If this link works for you, it would take you to the side of NARA where it's for separated federal employees. But again, I highly suggest you seek out your EOPF to be printed out or either create it as a PDF if they can do it for you and send it as an encrypted email. get it before that 120 days. But this is the information of what you need to do if you wait beyond the 120 days and say you reach out to HR and they're like, okay, let me look. Nope, it says it's transmitted. You got to talk to NARA. They should be providing you this kind of information, but this is it. This is how you would submit a written request for copies of your records. Be very careful about following the instructions. Things have to be hand signed in cursive. You can't print your name. It has to be cursive and dated and all of that. And you would either can mail it in or you can fax it. That's their address, that's their fax number. There's a follow-up number for submitted requests. There's also a way to submit for emergency needs, like upcoming job postings, all kinds of things. So this is the information of how to get it from NARA in an emergency and in an expedited way. Again, I suggest that you get your folder from HR while they still have possession of it online through your electronic personnel file, rather than go through this route. So, with that said, that's what you should expect in your clearance packets for a lot of your important items. And always feel free to go back through the other videos and I will touch on some of these other items. But again, if you didn't have health insurance, you won't need to worry about any of those health forms. If you don't intend to try to get and pay for a private life insurance policy through the OFEGLI, through OPM, then none of that's of import to you either. But I've covered a lot of those items in those other videos. And now I'm going to try to wrap this up before we hit 15 minutes. And the last video is going to be video 7, and I'm going to talk to you about access to your leave and earning statements after separation. Thank you. See you in the next one.